The Sense of an Ending. The Sense of an Ending is a novel by Julian Barnes, published by Jonathan Cape in 2011. It is a thought-provoking story of memory, aging, and regret. The book follows the life of Tony Webster, a retired man in his 60s who is trying to come to terms with his past. Barnes takes the reader on a journey that explores the complex nature of memory and the consequences of our actions. The novel opens with Tony Webster, reflecting on his life and relationships. He receives a letter from a lawyer informing him that he has been left a bequest from the mother of his former girlfriend, Veronica. This sets off a chain of events that forces Tony to confront his past and the events that led to his breakup with Veronica. The story moves back and forth in time, exploring Tony's memories and his attempts to reconcile them with reality. Tony's reflections led him to consider his friendship with Adrian, a brilliant and philosophical student who was part of their circle of friends at school. Adrian and Veronica eventually begin a relationship, which forces Tony to confront his feelings of jealousy and inadequacy. After Adrian's suicide, Tony and Veronica have a brief relationship, but it ends badly. The novel concludes with Tony discovering a letter that Adrian wrote to him, which forces him to reconsider the events of the past and the choices he has made. Barnes creates complex and flawed characters who are struggling to make sense of their lives. Tony is a particularly interesting character, as he is forced to confront the reality of his past and the consequences of his actions. Barnes shows us how Tony's memories have been shaped by his own biases and desires, and how difficult it is to separate fact from fiction. Veronica is another intriguing character, who is initially portrayed as cold and distant. As the novel progresses, we learn more about her past and the events that have shaped her. Adrian is also a fascinating character, who is presented as almost too perfect. Barnes uses Adrian to explore philosophical questions about the nature of memory and the self. The Sense of an Ending is set in England in the 1960s and 70s, a period of significant social change. The novel explores the tensions between the conservative values of the older generation and the more liberal attitudes of the young. Barnes also touches on issues such as class, education, and the changing role of women in society. The Sense of an Ending can be classified as literary fiction. Barnes uses language in a precise and controlled manner, creating a sense of intimacy with the reader. He employs a non-linear narrative structure, which adds to the complexity of the story. The writing style is introspective and philosophical, with a focus on the inner lives of the characters. The Sense of an Ending explores a range of themes, including memory, aging, regret, and the search for meaning. Barnes is interested in how our memories shape our understanding of the world and the self. He also considers how our sense of self changes as we age and the impact of regret on our lives. Barnes approaches his subject matter with intelligence and sensitivity. He uses the story of Tony's life to explore broader philosophical questions about memory, the self, and the nature of reality. The target audience for The Sense of an Ending is likely to be readers who enjoy literary fiction and are interested in exploring complex and challenging ideas. Julian Barnes's The Sense of an Ending is a novel that is both intricately constructed and thematically rich. Barnes employs a number of metaphors and symbols to explore his themes of memory, aging, and regret. One of the most significant metaphors in the novel is the idea of time as a river. Tony describes time as a river which carries us forward, and sometimes we drown. This metaphor reflects the novel's preoccupation with memory and how our past experiences shape our understanding of the present. Tony is constantly trying to navigate the currents of time and memory, searching for a way to reconcile his past with his present. Another important metaphor in the novel is the idea of the unreliable narrator. Tony is a flawed and unreliable narrator, and Barnes uses this to explore the idea that memory is subjective and often distorted by our own biases and desires. Tony's memories are fragmented and incomplete, and he is forced to confront the reality that his understanding of his past may be fundamentally flawed. Barnes also employs a number of symbols throughout the novel. One of the most significant of these is the idea of the letter. The novel is bookended by two letters, one from a lawyer informing Tony of his bequest, and another from Adrian, which Tony discovers at the end of the novel. The letters symbolize the power of communication and the impact that our words can have on others. Another important symbol in the novel is the idea of the maze. Barnes uses the maze as a metaphor for the complexities of memory and the difficulties of untangling the past. Tony describes his memories as a labyrinthine construction, reflecting the novel's preoccupation with the idea of memory as a complex and sometimes confusing process. The Sense of an Ending has been widely acclaimed since its publication in 2011. It won the Man Booker Prize that same year, one of the most prestigious awards in English-language literature. The judges described the novel as exquisitely written, subtly plotted, and reveals new depths with each reading. In addition to the Man Booker Prize, The Sense of an Ending has also been shortlisted for a number of other awards, including the Walter Scott Prize for Historical Fiction and the Specsavers National Book Award for UK Author of the Year. The novel has been translated into over 30 languages and has sold millions of copies worldwide. In conclusion, Julian Barnes' The Sense of an Ending is a novel that is both intricate and thematically rich. The novel has been widely acclaimed since its publication in 2011, winning the Man Booker Prize and being shortlisted for many other awards. The Sense of an Ending is a thought-provoking and beautifully written novel that will stay with readers long after they have finished it. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more.